The unsmooth criminal. Oh, hey, Annie. Hi. Yeah, my grandparents have a cat named Annie. Hold on. Ignore my background for a second. Hi, Annie. You're on camera. Hi. Okay, I'm back. That was just unexpected. Yeah, hi. Hi. Yeah. This may just be a watching Annie video. But I have to give a great thanks to Coin. Dude, you have such good drawing compared to me. He's seen how I draw eyes. Yeah, it's not good at all. So, we start back up where we left off. Bakugo is attacking Izumi. And if you guys haven't watched the last part, go watch the last part. Bakugo is attacking Izumi. And Izumi is taking it. Because she doesn't want to hurt Bakugo. So, after a good hour of beating on Izumi, Bakugo's like, whatever. Like her normal self from canon. So it's going to be a few day time skip. Izumi has experienced a few day time skip, and she can't remember whatever the hell happened those few days. She can't. Absolutely nothing. She can remember absolutely nothing from those few days, which she thinks is very strange. So she's just paying attention, and she walks into class, and All Might, she sends a threatening look at All Might, and All Might doesn't react. And she's confused because All Might normally reacts. So she goes on the day, and Kirishima says, "Dang, you look good," and walks off. Like, those scars are manly, kind of look good. And she's like, what's going on? They get out there, and it's the heroes versus villains. The canon hero versus villains. Bakugo doesn't have ice and fire in this little area. No. Izumi has the ability of all behemoths, yes. And they're not called aether quirks anymore. They're just called quirks. So she takes off her shirt in the changing room because she needs to change into her hunting outfit, even though she normally wears her hunting outfit to class. So she changes into the hunting outfit for PE, and she gets out there. And she pulls a blade out of the rift, being like, "Okay, where's the behemoth?" And everybody's like, "What? What? Um, there's no behemoth." And Bakugo starts laughing, be like, "That crazy nerd thinks that there's gonna be monsters here. What the hell kind of book has she been reading lately?" And she walks over to Bakugo and whispers something into Bakugo's ear, because Bakugo knows not to fight her out in front of All Might, because All Might's taking a liking to her. And everybody knows that. So Bakugo knows no fighting Izumi while All Might's around. And Bakugo's face completely pales, and she goes, "How the hell did you know that?" And Izumi goes, "Who doesn't?" And Mina's like, "I sense tea." And she runs over like, What'd you tell her? And Izumi goes, apparently, no one knows. So I can't say. And Mina's now looking at Bakugo. Bakugo's face is just paling even further and further. Or she almost looks like a ghost now. Oh. I think my grandparents are back with the tabletop. I gotta help them. I'll be back. Well, that was unexpected. My mother called right when I was about to click the play button. Or record button. Whatever you want to call it. But, so they start the heroes versus villains, and Izumi completely annihilates. She just one punches everybody. Saitama level kind of stuff. Yes, One Punch Man. Great anime. You should go watch it. I haven't seen season 3 yet. If there is even a season 3. But I haven't seen it. Go watch it. Great anime. If you just want to sit back, relax, and to have a laugh. So, let's go to Bakugo's perspective. She's currently sitting at Izumi's side, and she's still not waking up. Remember, if you haven't seen the last video, go back and watch it. Because I'm going to do some mind messery right here. Aizawa walks in and says, Bakugo, you gotta go. It's time for class. And she goes, no, I'm staying here. And he goes, I'm sorry, but no, you have to go. He quickly knocks her out and takes her to class. Because she won't leave Izumi's room. Or their room, actually, because they have the same room now. She won't leave the room. So, in canon, when he's cuffed up at the sports festival because he won, she's now like that. Before the sports festival, she's cuffed up. And she's snapping at everybody who's walking near trying to talk to her. She's just yelling, take me back, take me back, take me back. I want to be back there. And so after that day of school, they finally uncuff her, and she walks up to Aizawa, slams him in the side of the head, making a small explosion. Because she can do any kind of explosion from her elbow down. Because of the heat and cold that she can do. Hi, Annie. Hi. So, she backhanded Aizawa. He's now passed out on the floor. And she takes off running to the dorm. And she gets in there and sits down in the chair. And she ices herself to the chair. She prepared to be cold, so she put on some heavy clothes, and she iced herself to the chair. So if anybody tries to move her, they can't move her because of the ice. Because the Panger can make ice spikes and control ice. The Hellion can make lava and spit lava. Can't control lava, but they can control fire, and yeah. So she goes to... We go back with Izumi's point of view. She somehow got back to the classroom and is fully dressed. And she's, what's going on? She goes through life, and I'm going to do a bit of a time skip for Izumi at least. She goes through life, and she's now the #1 hero, best of the best. But there's one villain she cannot beat. It's a villain with a mutation quirk, and his villain name is Thrax. Because every time she goes near it, she's the only one who's powerful enough to go near it. She starts having panic attacks for no reason. Absolutely no reason. So, next thing that happens is since it's been over 40-ish years already, she goes through 60 years, so she's 76 now, and she finally dies in the mind. This is after 100 hours after she's been asleep. She finally wakes up. And she's not crying normal tears. She's crying glowing, radiant tears. And Bakugo sees this immediately and shatters the ice and runs over and tries to grab Izumi and hug her. But Izumi, on instinct, because of the old Bakugo, attacking her for no reason at points, she flinches back. And she thought that that was real the last 60 years. And that her quirk made her have nightmares of this world. That she currently is in, the real world for her. And Bakugo saw that she flinched back and was like, oh, what's going on? And so she hits the panic button for Izumi's room, which is a big red button that Rose and Shinobu both know that if Izumi either has health issues or is starting to go crazy, slam that button. Bakugo slams it, and she doesn't have enough strength to hit it properly, so she uses an explosion to push it. And this explosion... Annie! Aw, Annie doesn't like me. This explosion shattered the button. And that explosion also reminded her of the Bakugo from the other world being pissed off at her. So she flinches at that too, because it's habit for her to flinch now whenever Bakugo does anything quickly, especially around her. So Nezu walks in saying, you're up. How do you feel? And she goes, what's going on? And she's acting completely strange. And he goes, you've been asleep for over 3 days. And she goes, what? And he explains what has been happening these last 3 days. And she goes, no. This got to be a dream. And she says that. And Nezu goes, I don't know what's going on. How about we get a mentalist to help with this? So they bring in Mr. Compress. And he comes in and he hypnotizes Izumi. And he says, what did you do the last year of your life? And she says the exact things that she did the last year of the dream world. Because she remembers everything from the dream world. And Compress is like, this is not what you gave me for the list of what she did. And Nezu goes, She is part behemoth now, so we don't know. And he goes, so I just hypnotized the behemoth? And Nezu goes, no, you hypnotized the girl, not the behemoth, because the mind's still the girl. The behemoth is the body. He goes, so what now? And Nezu goes, try to hypnotize her and make her forget whatever she saw in the dream. And so Compress does, and so she forgets that all the behemoths admitted defeat except for the Thrax. Rose and Shinobu still haven't shown back up, but they're still out there. Shinobu shows up to Nezu, just showing that she's alive. Rose shows up to Aizawa, showing that she's alive. And they all bring every once in a while a chunk of behemoth for Izumi. But they are not showing themselves to Izumi. And finally, Nezu asks this now massive Thrax, because it's been a few months, it's now massive Thrax, what's going on with Izumi. And Shinobu, being close to humans, has learned, because Thrax are intelligent creatures, to mimic voices. And it says, "My kind, not submit." That's it. And he goes, "Okay then. How can we fix her?" And he says, and she says, "Wait. We'll submit in time." That's it. And Rose has learned to nod and say no because of Izumi, because Rose is like a lab, the dog lab. They're quick to learn, they're very intelligent creatures, but it takes a while to get them to have a memory that's befitting a smart dog. So Aizawa asks Rose every once in a while yes or no questions, and Aizawa's gotten a vague image. Nezu has come up to Aizawa and told him the story and what's going on with Izumi and what's happening. So they call him Mr. Compress again, and he comes back. And he goes, "Okay, what do you want now?" And he goes, "Did you store the memories away or make her forget the memories?" And he goes, "I stored them away. I didn't want to make them forget. I have a 2-year time limit before they start forgetting." And they go, "Okay, so can you just delete the latest 60 years?" And he goes, "Maybe? I don't know." It's like trying to pinpoint a moon while blindfolded. Even though, yes, that chunk of memory is massive, I don't know where it is. I can't see it. And Nezu goes, "Okay, what's your Aether ability?" And he goes, "Oh, that's easy. Solid movement." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." And he holds up a pocket watch, and this pocket watch is directly up at noon. And he goes, "I can make it move without touching it." And he points at the pocket watch, and the pocket watch starts to move back and forth. And Compress flips the chain, flips his hand over, and the chain goes straight up and down, with the pocket watch upside down now, where it's pointing directly down. The only thing that does not move is the hands. So every time it moves, the hands stay pointing straight up. It's a very weird image. So it's now at 6 o'clock at all times. It's at 6 o'clock at all times now. So we go to a month after this latest hypnotism, and Izumi slowly is starting to get her memories back, and he just put a slow bleed on the memories. So she remembers that she was being tortured by her family, so she's mentally unstable again. And every day she gets a new memory. So it's now the heroes versus villains in real life. I think I haven't done heroes versus villains. No, I did heroes versus villains. It's the USJ now. So they have simulated behemoth attacks. Unforeseen simulation joint. Unforeseen behemoth simulation joint. UBSJ. UBSJ, Unforeseen Behemoth Simulation Joint. So she goes and she quickly takes care of any behemoth that they pull in. And they only pull in lessers because they've trained the lessers. And she's been told that she can't kill any behemoths. But she's so strong that one hit will kill a lesser. Because of the vermi, the fire ape, the lightning dragon, the rift stalker, the shroud, the Terran, the rare Terran monster, and she still doesn't know the name of the rare Terran monster, and the rare ice monster, and the rare umbral. No, not umbral. A rare behemoth, radiant behemoth. She has all those, and there's one more that she doesn't have. The Thrax. So they pull in a lesser Thrax, a very young Thrax, and it's Shinobu. They're like, okay, we're not going to allow Izumi into the testing area, but you have to train the participants, and Shinobu has been helping them with understanding the Thrax biology and helping them with ways to kill rogue Thrax. And also ways to protect themselves from Thrax. So we go to Izumi sitting in a lounge, and when she's awake, she starts getting the memories faster. Every 2 hours, she gets another year of memories. But when she's asleep, she gets one every 3 hours. No, every 4. Every 4 is better. So she's been going through the years very quickly, and she finally gets to where all the behemoths are talking to her, and she changes to what she looks like in the real world. And she gets her original memories from her original life, and she acts like she did originally. And she sees this and remembers it, and she starts crying. And Aizawa was tasked to keep an eye on her, so he used his Aether ability, his eyes, to see the condition that Izumi's in. And he sees that she is mentally destroyed, physically fatigued, and her power is growing again. So she tells Aizawa to call Mr. Compress, and he goes, how do you know we used Mr. Compress? And she goes, he didn't hypnotize me. He just sealed and unsealed my memories. There was no hypnotism involved whatsoever. And he goes, okay then. So he calls up Mr. Compress, and Mr. Compress comes down saying, I am here. And she goes, quickly, before any more memories come back, because, well, I got the ones I needed. And he hears this and goes, okay. And it's been an hour, so he has another hour to do this. So he sets it up, and he gets it ready, and he starts to hypnotize her. But something is stopping her stopping the hypnotism from going through to seal the memories again. It's the Thrax that she hasn't defeated, or Thrax that hasn't accepted defeat. So she goes, well, what's going on? I don't feel any different. And Mr. Compress goes, we were going to have to wait. How long has it been since you had your last memory? And she goes, an hour ago. And he goes, okay, we got to wait an hour. I don't know if it's worked yet. So we wait. They wait an hour. And the USJ is done. This is the first of two USJs. The first one's the Unforeseen Behemoth Simulation Joint, and then the USJ Unforeseen Simulation Joint, which is all the natural disasters that they gotta stop from happening from the behemoths. But if they can't, they have to be ready to deal with them. So Izumi's still at the Unforeseen Simulation Joint. And she goes, okay, I got a new set of memories. Knock me out, please. And she's still getting the memory, so she has a headache. And Aizawa's like, okay. And he tries chopping her in the back of the neck. Nothing happens. He's like, damn it. I hate using this weapon. And he picks up the hammer that's currently right next to him. And he pulls it back full force, loads all the shells into one hit, and slams her in the head as hard as possible. She slams to the ground, or her head slams on the ground, and she's out, cold. And they see no blood at all. And they're like, okay then. That was really hard. Hopefully I didn't kill her. And they hear light snoring, so it's like, never mind. She good. So we go into Izumi's mind. And she thinks of the weapon her father was giving her. That axe. So it looks like the recruit axe. If you guys have played Dauntless, you'll know what the recruit axe looks like. It's a basic axe. And she walks in and she's holding it. He clicks it to her heel and she's holding it out like a halberd currently. And she goes, so you didn't admit defeat. So I have two questions. One, if I defeat you again, will you admit defeat? And two, will you please seal my memories so I don't have to deal with that life again? Because if I do, you're just going to come back. And he goes, never. And she goes, okay. So she walks up to him, and he's currently very weak from using all of his power because he had to keep fueling the world that she saw in her dreams. So he's small. And she goes, okay. So she chops off its head. And the body just evaporates. And she goes, hey, now do you admit defeat? And he goes even smaller. And he's full size. And he goes, never. Because this is in her mind. And this behemoth does not want to give up. And she goes, okay. So she starts squeezing its head very tightly. And it being small, it fits in her hand. So it's just going, fine. Stop it. And he goes, wow, you actually feel pain in here. Admit defeat and I won't crush you to death. And he goes, you can't kill me in here, but fine, I admit defeat. And it just evaporates into ether. So after a few hours, she wakes up and she has a few more years of memories of her torturous life in UA, everybody looking down on her because she's different than everybody else. Mina doesn't have her mutation quirk in the dream, by the way. Hagakure can turn off and on her invisibility in the dream. And yes, she looks like the Cheshire Cat in the real world. Just saying. Ojiro and everybody who had a mutation quirk didn't have their mutation quirk, but were able to summon their mutation quirk and have it grow to ridiculous strengths. So she finally wakes up and she's like, okay, you shouldn't have an issue stealing my memories again. I suggest you seal them before I start acting like that Izumi again. And she looks at Mr. Compress and he goes, okay then? Huh. What did she go through? And he quickly hypnotizes her to where she doesn't remember anything from her old life. Her dream life, by the way. So she goes to the dorms. She walks up to Bakugo, and she has something behind her back. And she said thank you to Aizawa for giving it to her, because she needed to say sorry to Bakugo. And he goes, no problem. You owe me, though. And she goes, yeah. I'll give you one. That's when she allows me to take one. And he goes, good. I love little baby wave stalkers. They're so cute. And he says that, and he mumbled that. And she goes, yeah, whatever. I'll be going now. And he goes, okay. So she gets to the dorms, and she's outside the dorm room, and Rose and Shinobu have both appeared in the dorms. And Bakugo's like, okay, why are you here? And they just go to sleep. She hears a knock at the door. And Izumi's currently in her original outfit. The one you saw in the last few photos. In the last photo of Izumi. The one where she went crazy. That photo. I think it was one episode ago. Maybe two. But she's in that outfit, and she knocks on the door to Bakugo's room. And Bakugo walks to the door and doesn't even open it. She goes, who's there? And Izumi goes, there's a delivery here for Kasuki Bakugo. It's a book of some sort. And Bakugo opens the door without looking, yanks the book out of her hand, and slams the door. And Izumi goes, I'm locked out of my own room. Damn. And Bakugo heard that. And she goes, wait, what? And she opens the door and actually looks at who the person is. And the person's gone. And Izumi's currently behind Bakugo being like, yeah, now I can get in, not through the door, right? And Bakugo turns around and jumps at Izumi being behind her. And Bakugo's like, I feel like you're okay, but Izumi? And she goes, who else would I be? And she whispers something into Bakugo's ear, and Bakugo's face goes beet red. And she goes, okay, you're right, Bakugo. And Bakugo's like, what? And she goes, oh, don't worry. I'll tell you later. And they have a fun night. Shinobu and Rose had to both go into the rift, or they would have not been able to get any sleep. I feel like that's a good place to leave off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later.